Hi from Bali. What are we talking about today? Ezekiel was not describing a chariot of God. Ezekiel was describing spaceships. Let's talk about it. So, I am in Bali at the retreat. And we have beautiful souls here with us in this gorgeous villa. A video, a tour is coming to the Valerie Love YouTube channel. Let's talk about Ezekiel, shall we? Let us talk about Ezekiel. And if this is your first time here, welcome. We have so many new subscribers. Yay! Welcome, 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 welcome. And in every episode, this is a series titled The Real God is Not in the Bible. Sound check. Can y'all hear me okay? Sound check. Can y'all hear me okay? The real God is not in the Bible. The Bible is not about God at all. The Bible isn't a holy book, and the Bible isn't spiritual at all. That's what we're talking about. Oh, you can hear me perfectly. Okay. Oh, Bali, off the charts. Off the freaking charts. Queen Bee in the house. Queen Bee in the house. I love it. I love it. So, family, why are we talking about this? Why am I doing this series? By the way, hi Aurora Day. How you loving? How you loving? How you loving, family? By the way, if you watch the channel, either the Valerie Love channel or the Christian Witches channel, please do on YouTube. Please do subscribe, 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 subscribe. That really helps a lot. Be sure to comment. Be sure to share this information with any and everyone who desires to understand this information. Why are we talking about this? This information is nothing short of so groundbreaking that it has the power to to topple the three major religions on the planet this day: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And there is a great move going on. The universal consciousness that is all, I don't call it a God, it's not a person. You know, here and there you may hear me say God, yet it's not a person. The universal energy, the universal source, the all, is moving something on this planet to move people away from dogma and doctrine into here, into direct connect with the universal source, not what you read in the Bible. And I'm not saying this because I don't like the Bible. I love the Bible, as many know who watch the channels. I love the Bible. That's why we're having this conversation, because I want to know what the Bible is really saying. And the Bible ain't talking about God, period. Okay? Let's get into it. So, Ezekiel. Now, before we get into Ezekiel, and I'm going to give you, I promised you last week that I would come back to you with Ezekiel. And let me share with you the book. Here is the book. Let me share with you the book, because you know we love receipts around here. You are never going to see me come on here and just talk random things that I've discovered here, there, and everywhere. I don't do that. I go and find out for myself. I go and find out for myself. And I love when you go find out for yourself. Here is the book that we will be talking about. Can you see it? It is called The Spaceships of Ezekiel. Yes, this book right next to it, Existential Kink, is one of my favorite. That is for the coven. Right now we're going through that. Hey Kenya, how you loving? How you loving? The Spaceships of Ezekiel. Ezekiel's spaceships. I wrote copious notes for you this time, and because we're in Bali and I'm on my phone, I'm not on my computer, we're going to do our live stream a little differently than we normally do. I'm going to be chatting directly with you, and I have copious notes that we are going to be talking about. Write this down if you're taking notes. This is earth shattering. On February 5th, 1974, a patent was granted to Joseph F. Bloomrick for the omnidirectional wheel, U.S. patent number 3789947 for Ezekiel's wheel that is described in Ezekiel chapter 1. Who is Joseph F. Bloomberg? A NASA systems analyst and engineer with 40 years of experience, over 40 years of experience. He is no longer on this planet. Peace be unto him. With over 40 years of aeronautic design and understanding how spaceships work. Okay, so here's what happened. He read Eric von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods. He read a book. When he read the book, he said, this is fallacious. Because he said he was thinking logically. Eric von Daniken, so thankful for him and many other teachers like him, wrote the book Chariots of the Gods to help people understand that there were visitors to this planet many years ago who had a hand in our genetics. They didn't create us, they didn't create anything. It was a genetic modification that took place. And their DNA and our DNA, they used some of their own DNA merged with us. Now, if you think this sounds strange, which for a long time I thought it sounded strange. I was like, I don't want to hear anything about the Anunnaki. People are running around talking about these conspiracy theories. That was my thought. Yet, too many points of evidence, of which I share in the book, and the book is now available for pre-order. If you're watching this before 11/11, the book comes out on 11/11/2024. It will be in the comments below this video, a link to pre-order the book. If you look at the multiple points of evidence, biology, textual evidence, archaeology, history, geography, geology, climate over many, many, many years, such as the Younger Dryas, a picture begins to emerge, one that cannot be denied, one that it beckons all of us to study it deeper and understand what is the story. This is the story of our origin. This is the story of what happened here on this planet. What happened with us? Why are we different from all the other primates, but not that different? There has been something that has been hidden from humanity for thousands of years, and people don't even want to talk about it. Well, that's over. Now, I want to say something before we go further into this patent. And how did this man get a patent from reading the book of Ezekiel? How did that happen? I'm going to tell you the whole story. And I'm going to show you pictures. And if you have the book, please do use the link below to get you into the Amazon store, an affiliate link. Thank you for supporting the channel. The affiliate link, you don't pay anymore, but we receive commissions. Yay! In the book, there are pictures. There are actual pictures in the book. And I'm going to show you the pictures in a moment. So, Joseph von Bloomberg, who won the patent from NASA. Now, this man is an analyst. This is not me saying that Ezekiel was talking about a spaceship. This is a NASA systems analyst, 40 years experience. This is a technology guy, a spacecraft guy, a spaceship guy talking about this. And this is what he said. He said, I set out to prove Eric von Daniken wrong because it was just ridiculous what he was talking about in the book. And he, with a technical mind, decided that he was going to refute him. This is what he said. He said that he set out to refute the arguments about Ezekiel and Ezekiel's spaceships. And here's a quote. Thus, Striving for objectivity. We must be objective in looking at these things. Family, we cannot be subjective, and we must search for the truth and search for the truth and read books and do research and go to websites, many of which I have cited on this channel. He said, thus striving for objectivity, I am presenting engineering proof. Listen to this. In his book, this is what he says. He says, I am presenting engineering proof of the technical soundness and reality of the spaceships described by Ezekiel, as well as all the related events and procedures. Wait a minute. What are you saying? Systems analyst and engineer, what are you saying? You're saying that you read the book of Ezekiel and you found spaceships? What are you saying to us right now? Because in church, they're still telling us it was a vision of God, God's chariots. Why God got a chariot? And why does God have so many chariots? Before we go further, I want to say this, that I've noticed in studying. Oh, my volume is really low? Oh, okay. How is the sound for everyone? Maybe I need to put on my earphones. How is the sound for everyone? Is the sound good? Tell me if the sound is good. Now, this man, tell me if the sound is good. Is the sound good? Jesus and the Essenes. Oh yeah, I love Dolores Cannon. Love her. Oh, the sound is low. It's a little low. Let me get my earphones. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm gonna leave my shoes here. Hold up. Wait a minute. You see that we're staying in an absolute mansion, so it took me a minute to get upstairs. Hold on. We're gonna get this sound together. I thought it was a green screen behind. That's not. Oh no. All right. How is the sound now? How is the sound now? My mic sounds nice. Check one, check two. My mic sounds nice. I grew up in the 70s in Harlem and we was all about rap. Yes, a fresh natural oxygen. Yes, yes, great, excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you for letting me know, family. Oh, thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, so I realize, okay, great, 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 yay, great, 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 great. I realize that these videos, oh, well, first of all, thank you for the beautiful, it's a beautiful place where we're staying. It's absolutely magnificent for the retreat. We'll post pictures and vids later. I realize that some of the vids, because they're live, they don't have the best sound quality and the best visuals. So I will be going through and putting an edited version on the websites as well. And we've got shorts for it too. I mean, on YouTube as well. So that we get the message. Okay, so let's get to the core of the matter. What are we talking about? We're talking about the spaceships of Ezekiel. We're talking about the fact that Ezekiel was not looking at the gods or God or a chariot of God.
The Almighty, the infinite source don't have no chariot. What does the infinite source need a chariot for? They never could answer that in church. What is the purpose of a chariot if you're the infinite source? Why do you ride around? Why do you sound like a man? Why is it that when Ezekiel looked at them, Ezekiel said a man? He said, I'm seeing a man. God is not a man. The book is called The Spaceships of Ezekiel. Now, I will say, there it is. I will say that if you get the Kindle version of this book, because the author is no longer on the planet, God bless him, or source, peace to you wherever you are in this huge, huge universe. Peace to you, and thank you for leaving us your wisdom. I will say that the quality is a little different because it's like a PDF. So it's not a, it doesn't flow like a Kindle ebook. Okay. So maybe he thought he would look cool riding around and went, yeah, in a spaceship. And he actually was in a spaceship 3 times, and he talks about it. And the author was able to discern from his writings that 20 years had elapsed in between one of his spaceship visits with the Anunnaki. So when you read the ebook, it doesn't flow like a typical ebook because it was a PDF uploaded for ebook. So if you can get past that part, because it won't display on your readers as you desire, as normal ebooks display, yet the information is super technical. The information is super specific. It is yet another smoking gun that things are not as they seem. We have been lied to, and the truth is stranger than fiction. Let's continue. So far, what do we have? Just to give a recap. So far, we have that in the book of Ezekiel, when Ezekiel described the famous chariots that we know of, Joseph F. Bloomrick took what Ezekiel described because he said Ezekiel was so descriptive. He was so descriptive, and he was very acutely attuned. He was paying attention, and he wrote everything down. The author is, that's an excellent question. Let me hold it up so you can get it on screenshot, okay? So everyone screenshot this book. And if you would be so kind as to use my link, I'm going to show you what the book actually looks like, because you know here's what the book actually looks like. It looks like this. This is the depiction. It's called The Spaceships of Ezekiel. This is what it looks like. It is the depiction of the exact drawings, schematics that he took from the book of Ezekiel. And here is his name. I'm going to hold it up on screen share. Everyone buy this book. Please buy this book. Take a screenshot. I know you see the trees in the background of it's beautiful. Okay? Joseph F. Bloomrick. So he got a patent. He was awarded patent number 3789947 for the omnidirectional wheel taken from the book of Ezekiel. He set out to prove Eric von Daniken wrong, and he said what he found instead were the exact schematics for a vessel. But not only that, when Ezekiel is describing a windstorm that came out of the north, you see, Ezekiel is being very specific. They tell us that the word wind means ruach. Every time they translate into wind in our Bibles, they are using the word ruach. We have already discussed that the word ruach doesn't mean wind only. It does mean wind, and it also means that which produces a wind, which they're all ships like that produce a wind when they land, a great wind. It was immersed. It was in an immense cloud. There was lightning flashing around. It was surrounded by a brilliant light. There was glowing metal, burnished bronze. And so, what Ezekiel is describing is not something spiritual. Tell all your church folks. Tell all your church folks the gig is up. The Christian story is not as they told us. It just isn't. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with churches, and I'm not saying we should tell all the churches, burn down all the churches. I'm saying the institution is a problem, not the people. People are iterations of the infinite source. The problem are the institutions that chew up and spit out people and use them as fodder so that they can control and manipulate the masses. Here's what the author says. Ezekiel begins his book with this description of the final phase of a spaceship's descent from a circular orbit to the Earth and all its subsequent landing. He also found that there was a mothership that was like a space station, and that this ship would go back and forth to the mothership, which is exactly what is described in the book of Enoch, which is exactly what is described in the ancient mythologies. We're coming to understand that ancient mythologies are not mythologies at all. Smash the like button, please smash up the shares. Further, an increasingly detailed and investigations and comparisons. So this man did thorough investigations and comparisons and details have shown that Ezekiel's descriptions are amazingly accurate. He said that the things that Ezekiel was talking about in his book were amazingly accurate. This is a systems analyst from NASA. This is not Reverend Valerie Love. I'm a reporter. I didn't make this up. I do know one thing. I have discovered so much that it could blow the lid off the top of your head. And I'm determined to share it with everyone. And for people who say, well, Dr. Malachi York taught us about that a long time ago. Beautiful. I don't know Dr. Malachi York. I wish him well. I saw that he was incarcerated and I pray, I send love. But let me ask you a question. Did they stop at one pastor? Did they stop at one priest? And I've heard someone else say, well, Billy Carson teaches that. You don't need to, you just listen to Billy Carson. Only one person on the planet is supposed to talk about all of this. All of us need to be talking about it until everyone on the planet knows about it. All of us need to be talking about it until everyone knows about it, because it affects everyone and affects everything. It affects everyone's life. Let's go further. In Ezekiel chapter 1, Ezekiel chapter 2, and Ezekiel chapter 8, this author, Joseph F. Bloomrick, says that Ezekiel had 3 encounters. And one encounter was so disturbing, you can read it right in the Bible. It said that Ezekiel sat by the river for 7 days. He was so disturbed and just shaken up, which you would be too if you had been lifted up into one of their vessels. So there was a mothership, he said. And he also said this, the men, because in Ezekiel he describes the men, he describes what they were doing, he describes a commander of the spaceship, he also describes people who were under his command, he also describes the activities that they were doing, he also describes the location where they went. They took the spaceship to the temple, supposedly where Solomon's temple was, that they still can't find. They took it to the temple. They would take the spaceship and land it in the temple, which led me to believe that it wasn't a temple at all. Or perhaps it was a temple and had multiple uses. So all this temple talk with the Ark of the Covenant in the Most Holy, and we've already talked about the Ark of the Covenant being a technological device, not something spiritual. Go to that episode. What if the temple wasn't spiritual? What if it was technological? What if it had technological properties? Here's what he says. He says, the men, right, that were handling the spaceship reveal that the vehicle was of a surprisingly sophisticated design, a design that he said they could not even replicate. And he was writing these words. When was this book written? In the 1960s? Because he got the patent in the 1960s. Let me see, when was this book copywritten? It doesn't have the copyright date on it. I believe he was writing this book in the 60s or maybe in the 70s. His patent was awarded, he could have been writing this book in the early 70s because his patent was awarded on February 5th, 1974. Now, for anyone who still wants to speak and really stick to that the Bible is a spiritual book, the Bible is all about God, the Bible is all about paleo contact. The Bible is all about extraterrestrials who came here to visit us many, 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 many hundreds of thousands of years ago. Their antics here on planet Earth. And we still even have evidence. I won't say it's conclusive proof. I will say, look at the evidence. It's very compelling. We have evidence that they're still here now, still involved in the affairs of humanity. Still right here. Right here. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote about Ezekiel's wheels. So, family, this is really the bottom line of it. The bottom line of it, hi from Bali. I'm coming to you from Bali, from the Bali retreat. The bottom line of it is we've got to stop being superstitious. We've got to stop being religious and instead be still, turn within, and understand that you are the infinite isness. You are it. You are one with the one. You are it. There ain't no God in the sky. The Bible is not a holy book. None of the religions are telling you how to reach your true self, capital S self, your all powerful, omni-dimensional, multi-dimensional self. None of the books are telling you that. Why? Why are they not teaching you to be your omni-dimensional, multi-dimensional, superpositioned self, according to physics? Why are they not telling you that? Because then they would lose control. How are you going to get billions of people to come to church every Sunday unless you give them a reason? And what's the reason they've given you to come to church every Sunday? Fear you're going to go to hell. Wow. That's an interesting motivator. Yet once you meditate and meditate and meditate for so long, take as much plant medicine as I have. I took some cacao while I was here too. It's, when you find out, oh, I am it. All is it. Oh, wow, it's right here. This is it. And then you are no longer manipulatable. You are no longer in the matrix. You're free because you reached around and you grabbed that big pole, that big tube out of your head. Now, I want to say something else about deconstructing, deconverting, how difficult it is and how hard it is to open our brain and dump out all of the things that we have been taught over so many years. Why is it so hard to do that? It's very difficult to do that. And so, for all of you that are doing it, I absolutely applaud you. I absolutely have your back. I absolutely am coming to you with all that I know and all that I am discovering and all that I am finding out. I'm writing a book about it so that we can be free. The bottom line of it, the intention here is free. Freedom. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, freedom. Freedom to practice your magic. Do you know why a lot of people don't practice magic and witchcraft? Because God told you you're going to go to hell. God, God, God. That ain't God in the Bible. So you don't have to be afraid of your own powers. That ain't God. And so many people ask me, well, if that's not God, where is God? Look in the mirror. That's where God is. And when I say there's no angels in the Bible, many people look at me like, oh my God, there's no angels? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. It's very fascinating to me that when you tell people there's no angels in the Bible, they immediately jump to, she doesn't believe in angels. I never said that. I said there's no angels in the Bible. These are all Elohim stories. Who are the Elohim, the Anuna gods, the Anunnaki? These are not angels. Everything with an L, El Shaddai, El Elyon, Elohim, these are all L's running around the planet doing all kinds of things, including blowing up sites like Sodom and Gomorrah, and then people coming later and making up a story that it was God. When it clearly says in the Bible is not telling you a story. The Bible is giving you clues to what really happened. Religion is the issue. The Bible is not the issue. The Bible is telling you everything that really happened. The Bible says Abraham saw three men coming. If I told you, yeah, I was talking to three men, would you say, oh, that must have been God? Of course not. It was three men. The Bible said it. Three men came to him and said, hey, the shit's about to go down. It's going to be blown up and get yourself to safety. And he was like, oh, wow. And then said two went on and one stayed there talking to him. And then Isaac went and looked at the men and came inside to his mother, Sarah, and said, hey, Mom, the ones that are out there talking to Dad, they're not of the children of this earth. They said it, they said it, they said it, they said it. We are not the children of this earth. They said it. Boo, this ain't about reparations. Bye. This ain't about reparations. We're not talking about that. We are not talking about that at all. Okay? We are talking about, and let me put the two user in timeout also. We are talking about matters of universal import. This is not about black people. This is not about white people. This is not about Chinese people. This is not about any group of people. Do you understand that we're talking about humanity? Do you understand that the Bible is not a book for Christians only? The Bible is a universal book. Well, it's not a universal book. It's a global book because the Bible actually, hold on. Hold on. The Bible is actually talking about all of humanity. The Bible is not just for one race of people. The Bible is not just for one religion. We have 30,000 strands of Christianity. How in the world, with 30 strands of Christianity, can you tell me one is right over the other? We can't. Religion is a problem for us. Can we see that religion has been a problem for us? So when people say, well, you're a Christian witch, what does that mean? That's why I clearly define terms. Christian as in Christ consciousness, as in one who, I don't care if Jesus was a real human being or not. I don't care, not one iota. I have said that over many years. I don't care one iota if Daniel was a real person. I don't care one iota if Ezekiel was a real person. The one who was giving the account of Ezekiel probably was not Ezekiel. All of the names of the Bible books were attributed later. None of these had names on them. They were scrolls with anonymous writers. Okay? Okay. Discerning spirituality. I believe that our religion has kept us stagnant for thousands of years. Yes. It's like handcuffs on God beings. All of you, all of us are God beings. And I promise you, do not listen to people who tell you that melanated people are more God beings than others. That is a bunch of rubbish. I will say it right now. There ain't no person that's more God than somebody else. That is trash, and it is coming from a hurt place and woundedness of a black hurt psyche that wants to be better. Black people ain't better than white people ain't better than black people, Chinese people ain't better than Japanese people ain't better than Indian people ain't better than Balinese people ain't better than Arabic people, ain't nobody better. Everyone is equally God. And you would never change my mind about that. And I'm not down with the whole Black Lives Matter and black people this and we're melanated, so we're better. No, no. And I've been saying that for years. I've been saying this for years. Heed me well. I'm not a black woman. I just look like one. Boom. I'm the infinite source, just as you are the infinite source. I'm not a black woman. I just look like one. And yeah, I'm all with Black Girl Magic. That's cute. Yes, I love it. I love that. And I do know that it's not a definer. It's not a definer of who we are, family. They made all these divisions up fairly recently in the last 200 years. Look up races. In the ancient world, no one referred to them as colors. In the ancient world, you would say you were Egyptian. Egyptians have all these colors. You would say you were Phoenician, and people could tell you were Phoenician. You had the Phoenician garb. People could tell that you were Egyptian because you spoke a certain way. You wore a certain garb. You had a certain accent as you were speaking. You spoke a certain language. No one said you were black or you were white. They made this up to part people. It's simple, divide and conquer. The sun is coming up in Bali. Now I'm going to conclude with this because we have big activities that we're about to engage in today here in Bali. I'm going to end with this so that we stay on topic. I'm going to give you a summary right here at the bottom. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet Ezekiel is not talking about God. God does not have a chariot. God does not need a chariot. What Ezekiel was talking about was not a vision, a supernatural vision. Ezekiel was talking about his actual encounters with people in flying spaceships, and it is clearly elucidated in Ezekiel chapter 1, Ezekiel chapter 2, and Ezekiel chapter 8. Okay? Let's go further. Because Ezekiel was so good at elucidating what he saw, Joseph, Joseph, F period, F for his middle initial is his middle initial, Blumrich, Blumrich, submitted, he thoroughly went over all of the information in the book of Ezekiel. He wrote about it in a book called the Ezekiel Spaceships that actually gave the schematics of the spaceship along with pictures, spaceships, there were more than one. And he was able to secure a patent number 3789947. So this is concrete. There's nothing you can argue about that. You can't argue that he went to the book of Ezekiel. He did the schematics from everything that Ezekiel laid out. He took his 40 years of aeronautic understanding and engineering prowess as a systems analyst at NASA. NASA is reading the Bible. Oh, you better believe NASA is reading the Bible. But people are out here talking about, I'm not reading the Bible because maybe, beloved, like me, maybe you were beat up by the Bible. And maybe it's time for us to let go of our Bible karma. A lot of people are carrying Bible karma. Maybe it's time for us to let go of our Bible karma and look into this book and see what this book is really saying, because it's not saying what they told us it was saying in church. The book is coming out on 11/11. You can pre-order it right now. I will drop the link right below this vid. The sun is coming up. Let me take you and show you where we are in Bali. Hold on. Let's go look. And I appreciate someone said that looked like a green screen. And I got up and walked into the green screen, right? This place is absolutely beautiful, family. We welcome you to come to any of our retreats. The Mystery School is coming back to Bali, and I'm going to break down everything for you, including magic, Christian witchcraft, and all of that at the Mystery School right here in Bali, coming up in December. And we're going to go to the full moon, to the temple on the full moon. Why? Because our Mystery School students are the best educated in the world on what we teach. Best educated in the world. It is a school that you cannot not go to. Okay, there's the infinity pool behind me. I don't know if you can see because the sun's coming up. Yay! Over the jungle. There's the infinity pool. I would flip it around, but I don't know if I can actually flip it around. Stop romanticizing the Bible and start deconstructing the Bible. Come on, Josie. Come through, Josie. That's what I am talking about. Because people are still so stuck in the superstition, the awe. Ooh, God's chariot came to Ezekiel. Ooh, Paul saw Jesus on the road. How about if Paul really saw Jesus? What if it wasn't a vision? What if the Bible is really telling you about real events? What if Abraham really did see three men? The three men wasn't God. Why would God turn into three men and come and just walk? And they were walking on the road and their feet were dusty. And Abraham said, oh, let me go fetch some water to wash your feet. God's feet don't get dirty. We've got to stop believing the lies of the church and deconstruct from the things that we have been taught. It is very difficult. I'll say this again for everyone who is doing the work in deconstructing. I give you a lot of credit because I promise you this is not easy. It is not easy to strip away the beliefs that we have held for thousands of years, humanity as a whole. It is not easy for us to come to the understanding of what's really going on when we thought it was something else. It's shocking to the system, and I write about it in the book. I write about cognitive dissonance because that's what a lot of us are experiencing. Cognitive dissonance, right? So these are our space for today. We will be in an incredible, incredible, incredible temple here in Bali for purification. Wash it from your head to your toe in the holy springs. You see, I'm all about energy, not dogma, not doctrine. Meditate, turn within, take some plant medicine, come back to come back to nature. Do you see this? It's called a flower. It's called a plant. You see, this is healing. This is what we need in our lives because we're so clued into technology. You need to unplug from technology and get into nature. Hug a tree. Drink some plant medicine. Oh my God, Aurora Day. I did a whole full tour of it that's going to go on the Valerie Love YouTube channel before everyone checked in. I did a tour. So, family, that's it for today. Ezekiel wasn't talking about God. The Bible's not talking about God. The real God is not in the Bible. The Bible is not a holy book. The Bible is not a spiritual book. Religions need to stop it, and people can wake up. I love you. Peace from Bali. Yeah, I finished my. You know what? When thank you. Oh yeah, yeah, she was up. Oh yeah, yeah. Do you know that when I got up, I had to put my earplugs in because the that's it. I had to put my